Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to be using the Golf MVP 12x12 collection pack. Love this pack because the colors are just outstanding. I love that. In fact, we are going to pair that with some coordinating cardstock. This is the My Colors cardstock variety pack. This has 8 sheets, two each of each color, 12x12s, and they coordinate absolutely perfectly with the Golf MVP collection pack. We're going to also turn our cards into birthday cards using the Inside Out Happy Birthday photopolymer stamp. I love that you can stamp on the inside or outside or both with the sentiments. So we're going to put all of these together and create 2 fun cards. Now before we jump and get started, I do want to mention a couple of things that are a little bit of FYIs. This here is the Golf MVP. Photoplay paper also has more collection packs with different themes of sports. So if the person in your life is not a golf fan, there is soccer, there's basketball, so there's tons more of the sports themed collection packs. So if you want to check that out, head on over to Photoplay paper. But that's number one. Another thing I want to mention, that you get a bonus this month. If you do like golf and like this Golf MVP collection pack, there's a bonus. What I mean by bonus is if you flip over, this is usually the sheet that you kind of toss, and it's paper, whereas your pattern papers here in the back of your collection are more of a cardstock thickness. But if you flip this over, you get a bonus piece. You only get one of these, but you get a whole bunch of golf balls on some pattern paper. So this is an extra bonus. So don't throw out your packaging because you can actually use this. So that's a nice little extra present that's coming with the Golf MVP collection pack. So 2 fun things that I thought I'd share. Let's jump in and get started. We're going to start by trimming or picking some papers and trimming down some of our coordinating cardstock. I chose 3 12x12 sheets of our pattern papers. These are sold individually too, so I'm going to tell you the names of the ones that I'm going to use in case you're on a budget and you want to, your favorite craft store, most of them should sell these individually, which is fabulous. So I'll tell you the names of these, and then I used all of the colors of cardstock that are in the MVP My Colors variety pack, all of them except for the yellow. I didn't use the yellow. So we have these beautiful, and these have a beautiful woven texture on them. I just love that. So first 12x12 sheet, we're going to be using back 9. I love that there's some smaller printed panels on here that are great for card making because they're scaled down, and then you also get 3 extra cut apart sheets. We're going to be using this one here, so I will trim this out along with this. It looks like they're polka dots, but they're actually golf balls. Pretty cool, huh? So we'll be using this sheet. I'll trim this down, and then we're going to be using a cut apart sheet. Not all of it, but I love this the golf ball on the tee. I thought we would use this for one of our cards, but we're going to be also using the beautiful argyle print on the reverse side. The name of this cardstock is called FORE. And finally, we're going to be using Tea Time. I love the stripes in here. I already trimmed mine in half. I'm actually going to trim it in half and then quarter it. I did that with our cut apart sheet because I'm going to use that argyle print. So those are the 3 sheets that we're going to be using along with our cardstock. I'm going to trim away my cut aparts that we're going to be using, and also this panel here. So I have everything trimmed down. We have our stripe paper, we have our argyle, and again, behind our argyle is our cut aparts, but we get 2 sheets, so you don't have to sacrifice a print because you get 2 sheets, which is nice. This is the cut apart from the argyle print, and I didn't bother cutting off the bottom. And then this is from the sheet that our smaller scale panel is on. You can see, let me flip them over. And I'm not worried about the bottom portion because we're going to bring in a die set. We're going to do a little bit of die cutting. I'm going to bring in my nested A2 arch die set. For our first card, I'm going to be using these 2 pattern papers, and then I trim down our green cardstock to a 3/4 inch strip. Let's see, this one here, we're going to create an arch frame. So I'm going to take two sizes that layer together beautifully, and I'll create a frame with this. With these, I'm going to take the largest, and I'll die cut out. I'm going to actually go a little bit towards the bottom. And I will die cut out a scene here, getting that flag and a little bit of that sand area. With this one, we're going to die cut out a scene. I think we're going to use the same die. So we'll take this die and die cut this out. I think this is a 3x4, but I think we can cut out an arch. We'll scoot it up a little bit. I'm going to bring in another piece of this same color cardstock, and using this die, which is one size up, I will die cut out another archway with that. And I think that's it as far as die cutting goes. So I have a little bit of die cutting to do, and I will be right back. My die cutting is finished, and I'm loving the way this looks. I love the little scene building inside the archway. We're going to start with our first card, and I'm going to put away this larger archway and then the golf tee here. I'll put this away. This will be for card number 2. We're going to start by grabbing our stamp set. This is the Inside Out Happy Birthday, and using the Happy Birthday here, I'm going to stamp. We're going to do a little heat embossing, so I'm going to bring in my stamping positioner. I'll place my cardstock in here, and we're going to stamp Happy Birthday. I'm going to put it a little bit towards the middle of this cardstock. This way I can customize the size of it. I'm going to treat my paper with my anti-static powder. I'm going to go over my Happy Birthday with my Versamark ink. We'll take our strip of cardstock, and even though this has a woven pattern, it's high quality cardstock, and it's gonna heat emboss beautifully. I'm gonna take some white embossing powder. I'm gonna go over my Happy Birthday. Tap off the excess here. I'll use my heat gun, and we'll go ahead and melt this. And it embossed beautifully. We'll put this off to the side. I'm going to let this cool just a minute, and then I will wipe away that embossing powder. Next, I'll take my arch frame that we created. I'm going to flip it around and add some glue on the very bottom portion of this. And we are going to tack down, making sure our Happy Birthday is centered. We will tack this down. Once it's perfectly centered, I'm going to trim away the excess, and then I'll flip this around, and we're going to pop this up with some foam tape. I remove the release paper off of my foam tape, and I'm going to go ahead and layer this sentiment. It's going to cover up that bottom piece here. So that worked out really good. I'm just going to line this over and create my archway. I love how well this cardstock just matches perfectly with our pattern paper. I love the way this looks. Now I have some of our trimmed down pieces. We have a panel that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, the argyle. And then we're going to take our golf ball panel that measures 3 1/2 inches by 4 3/4. We're going to layer these two together. We're going to take our cardstock here. I love the woven print on here. This is a card front panel. It's an A2 panel that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And it's going to go perfect on the front of our card base. So I'll layer this here, and then we'll take our pattern paper and layer it right on top. I've been using glue a lot lately because I just love that you have a little bit of wiggle room when you add your placement. Okay, so we have our panels adhered. Now I'm going to take my happy birthday archway. We'll flip this around. I'm going to add some glue behind here. And we're going to just place this right in the middle. Almost looks like you could walk right through it. I love the dimension. Now, I also trimmed down our navy cardstock into a 1/2 inch strip, and then the same Argyle cardstock. I did that because I thought we would stamp a sentiment on the inside, and we'll do a little bit of embellishing with this. So first I'm going to add a little glue behind my pattern paper here. And I want a little bit, about 1/4 inch showing of the blue cardstock. I'll flip this around, add some more glue here. Just adding little details like this to cards, I think, make a huge difference. And then we're going to take our stamp set I thought we would put, the most special thing about this card is the person holding it. I mean, how nice is that? I just love it. To stamp my inside, I'm bringing in my full-size stamping positioner. This way I could put the entire card in here. And then I will take my sentiment and we will add it here. And then I chose an ink that coordinated with our blue cardstock. So we'll add a little bit of that to our sentiment. And I will go ahead and stamp this. Now all we have to do is add a little bit more 3D elements, and to do that I'm going to bring in our 12 by 12 sticker sheet. A lot of funness in this stamp set. I think the golf cart is going to go perfect in our little scene. I'm going to bring in some small foam squares. And then I did tap some of my anti-static powder on the sticker so it's no longer tacky. Okay, so there's a little golf cart. I might want to scoot this over a bit. I think we're going to use tea time, and we're going to add a couple of our golf clubs. I'll take a larger foam square, put it behind our tea time, tap that stickiness away, and then I crisscrossed 2 of my golf clubs. I think that's going to be the perfect amount. So we have our stickers. I'm going to go ahead and remove the release paper. And we'll add our golf cart. That's so cute. And then we'll add our tea time. And I'm going to add a little glue behind our stickers. I removed the tackiness, and then we will add this over here on the frame. Wonderful. I'm going to open up the card and we're going to add a few stickers on the inside. We'll add our golf clubs. And we'll overlap one on the side here for a little playful look. Now to finish off this card, I'm going to bring in a little bit of shine. And I'm going to bring in my Glossy Accents. I'm going to go over my flag. Also the wheels on my golf cart, we'll add a little dimension to those. And the top of the golf cart here. And we're going to add a little bit of shine with these gems. Those are going to go anywhere. I think that's the perfect amount. And that finishes my first card. We're going to jump in to our next card. For my next card, I trimmed down another card front panel. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to go ahead and take this and place this on my card base. These actually make great card bases too. So if you want to create a card base with a green cardstock, you could. I just like to stretch my cardstock and create panels. Okay, and we're going to decorate the inside, so that's going to help out as well. After we have our panel on here, I'm going to take our striped pattern paper. We'll add a little glue behind here. Now this is just slightly smaller than my card front, so you're just going to see a little bit of the green peeking out. We're going to layer our golf ball on top of our blue archway. We'll place this in the middle of our panel, and you'll see here I went ahead and trimmed away another one of those cut-aparts, the 3x4 cut-aparts. I love layers, so I like that you get 2 cut-aparts. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a circle punch. If you have a circle die, you could do the same thing. I'm going to trim away the top a little bit. I'll use it, and I'm going to punch out the golf ball, just making sure it's centered. We'll go ahead and punch this out. So now we have the same ball, and I'm going to flip this around, add some foam squares behind here. And then we added a little bit of dimension to our cut apart. Just line up with the top of the T. Like so. Okay, I went ahead and went through our sticker sheet and I took out the letters that spell golf. I went ahead and removed the tackiness and I put some foam tape behind it. And what we're going to do is remove the release paper. I'm going to try and evenly space these as best as I can. So I'm not going to press down just yet. I'm going to stamp my sentiment and put it right across the word golf. And for this card, we're going to use Big Birthday Wishes, because that's a big golf ball. I'm going to use the leftover piece of cardstock, and we'll put this in our stamping positioner. I'm going to heat emboss this also. Our sentiment. I'm going to wait for this to cool just a little bit. I'll take my paper trimmer and we'll trim this away. I'll just remove the release paper and we're going to put this right across the golf here. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to open up my card and we're going to finish the inside here. I have a 1-inch strip of the golf ball paper. I'm going to add some glue behind here. We'll place this on the bottom on the inside. And then we have some border strips. I'm going to go ahead and add this. We'll flip it around. About a 1/4 inch up from the bottom. Once this is adhered, we're going to take our golf ball that's on a T, and I'm just going to place this in this corner over here. We're going to stamp our inside sentiment. For the inside of this card, I just love these sentiments. I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says, if things get better with age, then you're approaching magnificent. Now that is an awesome inside greeting. I'm going to center this. I'll pick this up with my Misty. And for this, I'm going to stamp with my black ink. I love doing the inside and outside with these stamps. Okay, I have some of those silver gems. We're going to add a few on this card. Birthdays need a little bit of shine. And I think just a few make the perfect amount of shine. And on the inside, have a fun greeting. So those are the cards that I made today with the Photoplay Papers 12x12 collection kit called Golf MVP. I hope you get a chance to check it out. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.